I'm Lakshmi Prasanna, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Welcome to the lecture series of image processing. In this session, we will discuss about lossy compression. So the important topics what we are going to cover in this session are, so we will see what is lossy data compression and predictive coding. Next, lossy predictive coding, that is we will see the block diagram of encoder and decoder parts in this lossy predictive coding. Next, we will solve one example problem related to this lossy compression. So before going to this lossy compression, first let us recall what is meant by data compression. So here data compression can also be called as bitrate reduction, or it can also be called as source coding. So generally, what is the main purpose of this data compression means? So using this technique, we can reduce the size of large files. So what happens if the size of large files are reduced means there are some advantages. So the advantage of data compression helps us to save our disk space. That means if we make the large files, if we reduce the size of the large files, then automatically the disk storage will be reduced, and also the time required to transmit that particular file will take less amount of time. So these are the advantages of going for data compression. And here, to make this data compression, we have two different techniques. One technique is we can go for lossless data compression, or we can go for lossy data compression. So in the previous session, we have discussed about this lossless data compression. So this lossless data compression means after compressing the file using this technique, there will not be any loss of information. That means there will not, it will not have any loss in the quality of the image, or it will not have any loss of information. So the compressed image, that is what we are getting at the output, decompressed image, will be same as the original image. So in this lossless data compression. So this we have discussed in the previous session in detail. Now coming to the second technique, that is lossy data compression. So the name itself says lossy means there will be some loss of information. So after performing this type of compression, the image what we are getting at the output, that particular image will not be same as the original image. So there will be some loss of information present in that. So based on the type of application, based on the file format, any of these techniques can be applied. So in this session, we will discuss about this lossy data compression in detail. And so what is meant by this lossy data compression means? So this lossy data compression is also one of the compression technique which is used to compress the large files into smaller files. But by using this lossy data compression technique, some specific amount of data and quality will be removed from the original file. That means the original file, input file, whatever we are taking, after applying this technique, we are going to get the output. That output data or quality may not be same as the original image, that is input image. So some loss of information will be present in the output image compared to the original image. So as this is also one of the compression technique, if this technique is applied, the file is going to occupy less memory space compared to the original file, because it is due to loss of original data and quality. So the output image what we are getting, it is having loss of information. So due to that, the storage amount required to store that particular file will occupy only less amount of space. So this technique is generally useful for us when the quality of data is not our first priority. So in some of the applications, quality of data may not be the first priority, only compression is the first priority. So in such type of applications, this lossy data compression can be used, because in that the quality may not be the first priority. So this lossy data compression technique can be used in some applications, or it can be used on the files which are in some file formats. Now let us see that applications. So this lossy data compression can be used mostly in the applications like JPEG images, MPEG video and MP3 audio formats. So in such type of applications, we can use this lossy data compression techniques. So here is the simple block diagram which shows the compression technique. So this is the original image, and if we compress the original image by using this lossy data compression technique, the output what we are going to get is the restored image. So here the output image what we are getting may not be same as the original image, because we will be having some loss of information regarding quality or content. Now, so this lossy data compression techniques will use some algorithms in order to perform compression. So here what are different lossy data compression techniques means, transform coding can be used to perform this lossy compression, or we can use discrete cosine transform and discrete wavelet transform. So all these are different types of transforms that can be applied to perform this lossy data compression technique. So in the last class, in the last session, we have seen what is meant by lossless data compression and lossy data compression differences. Okay. So now coming to this predictive coding. So we should know what is meant by predictive coding before going to the lossy compression technique, that is before speaking about the encoder part and decoder part of this lossy compression technique. Why? Because in that block diagrams, if we see encoder part or decoder part, we have one important block which is called predictor. Okay, so there this predictive coding will be performed. Now let us see what is meant by this predictive coding. So it is this predictive coding is one of the approach that achieves good compression without significant overload. So this is the technique that will be performing the good compression. So here how it is performing the compression means, it is based on eliminating the interpixel redundancy. So it is going to eliminate the unnecessary pixels that is available in the image, which are of closely spaced pixels, by extracting and coding only the new information in each pixel. So it is going to take only the important information from the wanted pixels, and other redundant pixels will be eliminated. So due to this, the compression will be performed. So the new information of the pixel is defined as the difference between the actual and predicted value of the pixel. If we see the block diagram, we will understand what is the actual value and what is the predicted value. Now, to this lossy predictive coding. So here we have two parts. So this block diagram indicates encoder, lossy predictive coding model, encoder part, and here the second figure indicates the lossy predictive coding model, decoder part. So using this encoder part, the compression of the image will be done, and by using this decoder part, decompression will be done. So here we can see the block which is predictor. So we have discussed about predictive coding. So the same type of predictor is also available at the decoder side. Now, so if we observe this block, that is lossy predictive coding encoder part, here quantizer is the important block, that is quantizer is also the extra block. If there is no quantizer in this lossy predictive coding encoder part, the block diagram of this block diagram will be similar to the lossless predictive coding encoder part. So only what is the difference between that lossless predictive coding and lossy predictive coding encoder part means remaining thing is same. In this lossy predictive coding, only one extra block, quantizer, is included. Whereas in the lossless predictive coding, we will not have this quantizer block. Remaining thing is same. Now, what is the function of this quantizer block means? This quantizer here, if you see this lossy predictive coding model, this quantizer is one of the important block that is introduced in this model. So what is the function of this means? We examine the resulting trade-off between reconstruction accuracy and compression performance. So here quantizer is inserted between symbol encoder. So this is symbol encoder, and the point at which the prediction error is formed. So here error is indicated with E, as this E of n is coming from this predictor block which is acting as the feedback block. We will call this as the prediction error. So this quantizer is present in between these two blocks. One is symbol encoder and another one is prediction error block. So it maps the prediction error into limited range of outputs. So this quantizer will be performing that operation, and it is denoted as En dot. So this is En, E of n. Here we can observe there is dot indicated. Okay. So this is E of n, that the output of the quantizer is E of n. On the top you can see dot. So which establishes the amount of compression and distortion associated with the lossy predictive coding. Now, so in order to make the E of n is all the output that is coming from the quantizer, E of n dot is also the error, but here to accommodate the insertion of the quantizer step, the error-free encoder must be altered so that the prediction generated by the encoder and decoder are same. If that is the case, the error will be, the encoder will be error-free. And so here this is the figure which shows the symbol encoder, and here you can see symbol decoder. So after the compression is performed, that compressed sequence, whatever we are getting as the output of this encoder, it is given as input to the decoder part, and it is to symbol decoder. So the output what we are getting from the symbol decoder is E of m dot, which is same as the output of the quantizer. And so here we can see one more predictor is available which will be performing the exact reverse operation of the predictor that is available in the encoder side. So here the output that is decompressed sequence, what we are getting, that is the output sequence, is indicated as f of n dot, and the signal that is coming from the predictor is indicated as f of n cap. So we have to write the relation now between this e of n dot, f cap of n, and the output f of n dot. Now based on these block diagrams, so the figure shows the lossy encoder predictor within a feedback loop. So we have seen here the feedback is available. So where its input is denoted as fn dot, and it is generated as the function of fast predictions and the corresponding quantized errors. So if we see the encoder part, fn dot here, so this is okay, is equal to en dot plus f cap of n. So this is f cap of n and this is en dot. So here minus is there. If we rearrange the equation, then the equation what we are going to get is fn dot is equal to en dot plus f cap of n. So this closed loop configuration prevents error buildup at the decoder output. So we have to see that error-free encoder should be available. So the output of the decoder is also given by the same equation. So if you see the decoder part, so this is f of n dot. So here both adders are available. So it is e of n dot plus f cap of n. So this is the equation. Now, so here let us solve one simple example, and here the given pixel values in this example are 23, 64, 39, 47, 55 and 63, and they are asking to demonstrate the predictive coding. That means predictive coding means here lossy predictive coding. Okay, so demonstrate lossy predictive coding. So here it is represented as value, or we can call it as original value. So here we can see the original value. How to calculate this predictive coding? So first value will be as it is, that is 23. Next value is 64. In order to get the predictive value, the present pixel value should be the previous pixel also should be considered. So if you do the subtraction operation, we will get 64 minus 23, that is 64, previous pixel value is 23, we will get 41. And next one is 39, is the original value. To calculate the predictive coding, so here 39 is the present pixel value, previous one is 64. 39 minus 64, we will get minus 25. And next pixel value is 47. To calculate the predictive coding, here 47 is the present pixel, previous pixel value is 39. So 47 minus 39, we will get 8. And next one is 55. So present pixel value is 55, previous one is 47. So 55 minus 47, we will get 8. And the last one is present pixel value is 63 and previous one is 55. So the result is 8. Now we should see what is the maximum value in the original given pixels and what is the maximum value in the predictive coding. After that, we should know how many number of bits are required to represent that particular pixel. So first let us see the predictive coding. So here what is the maximum value? So the maximum value is here 41. Okay. So here the number of bits required to represent this 41. Let us see how many number of bits are required to represent this 41. So 2, 20. So this is 1, 2 tens, 0, 2 fives, 0, 2 2, 1, 2 ones, 2, and this is 1. So if you count the number of bits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bits are required to represent this maximum value 41. So not only this 6 plus one more bit will be added because we need to include sign bit. So totally 7 bits are required to represent this 41. But only 7 bits for 41 pixel only. But if you consider this 23 minus 25, 8, 8, 8. So in order to represent the remaining pixel values, no need to go for these many number of bits. Okay. So due to that reason, here in case of this lossy compression, what we will do means we will reduce the size of this pixel value. So instead of making this 41, so let us reduce this pixel value 41 instead of 41. So let us reduce this. We will call this concept as overloading actually. So due to this overloading, let this 41 be reduced to 31. So why? Because so here we are using 6 bits to represent. Let us reduce that and let us see whether it is possible to represent with 5 bits. So the maximum value to represent using 5 bits is 31. So if you go for 32 and all, again 6 bits are required. So you can calculate if you want. But if you go for this maximum value 31, then it requires only 5 bits to represent. So here, so we have made this 41 to 31. So 41 is the concept of overloading, making that value which can be represented by using 5 bits. Maximum value is 31. So here we can tell that we have reduced 41 to 31 means automatically it leads to loss of information. So here it leads to loss of information. It leads to loss of information due to reduced number of bits. So we have reduced the 41 bits into, the pixel value 41 into 31. So here lossy compression has happened. That means loss of information is being done due to the concept of overloading. Due to the concept of overloading. Okay. So here, other than this 41, if you take this 23, okay, minus 25, 8, 8, 8, that is remaining bits. So all these bits can be represented by using 5 and 1 extra bit, that is sign bit. So totally by using 6 bits, the remaining values can be represented. So whereas to represent this 41, only 41, you require 7 bits. So we have reduced this overloading value into the maximum pixel value, which will be indicated with the same 6 bits, that is 31. Now instead of 41, we have to consider the pixel value as 31. Now let us calculate the number of bits. So here, so first we see the original value. So in this original value, what is the maximum value in original sequence. So what is the maximum value in the original sequence? We can see out of all these pixel values, maximum value is 64. So here maximum value is 64. And here bits required to represent. Okay. So now let us see how many number of bits are required to represent this 64. So 64 to 60. This is 0, 2 ones, 2 eights, 2 fours, 2 2 and 2 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So totally here 7 bits are required to represent this 64. But along with the 7 bits, one extra bit will be included to represent sign bit. So here 7 plus 1 sign bit. So totally 8 bits are required. But here in the sequence, how many number of pixel values are available? Here next, total number of bits required to code original signal. So here, totally here 8 bits. Okay. How many number of pixel values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here it is 6. Totally 48 bits. Okay. And now this is about original sequence. And what is the next one? Predictive coding. Now consider the value in the predictive coding and do the same procedure. So here maximum value in predicted code sequence. So here what is the maximum value in the predicted code sequence? Previously it is 41, but we have reduced that to 31, which made lossy compression. So loss of information has happened here. Compression we will compare with the help of this original and predictive coding. So maximum value is here 31. Okay. And next, bits required to represent. Bits required to represent is generally 5 bits are required plus one more bit, sign bit is required. So totally here 6 bits are required. And here next, total number of bits required to code predictive signal is, so here totally 6 bits are required. How many number of pixel values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So here it is 36 bits. So now seeing this, the bits required in the original code is 48 bits. And after predictive coding, after applying predictive coding, it has become to 36 bits. So seeing this, we can say that the compression is performed. But seeing what we can say the lossy compression is performed means seeing this overloading, making the value 41 into 31, will say that the lossy prediction has happened. Okay. So this is what about lossy compression technique. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.